offering support in taking on everything life demands, with therapists available to communicate via video, chat, or phone at betterhelp.com/public.
Martinez.
And I'm Steve Inskeep.
And I'm Tiffany Hansen. Good morning. You're listening to Morning Edition here on WNYC. It's Thursday, October 3rd. Coming up on 6:50 this morning, and coming up later this morning on Morning Edition, climate change is making rainfall more extreme. That's making it tougher for cities to plan their infrastructure.
We're flying blind right now. We don't know what that appropriate standard is because we have outdated data that we're making those assumptions on.
Now the federal government is updating rainfall records nationwide. We'll have more on that coming up in just about 15 minutes here on Morning Edition. Just around the corner, it's the Marketplace Morning Report. And as you're headed out the door this morning in Gowanus, 64 degrees, Jersey City, 63. Up at the Cloisters, 61 degrees. And down here in Soho, we have 63 degrees as well under an overcast sky. We're all headed up to the mid-70s.
Support for WNYC comes from the International Center of Photography, spotlighting iconic street photography, and We Are Here, Scenes from the Street, made possible by Bloomberg Philanthropies. ICP is located at 84 Ludlow Street. More information is available at icp.org. AARP New York City is a supporter of WNYC's Centennial, helping New York's public radio station reach hundreds of thousands of engaged listeners who have made WNYC part of their daily routine. More at WNYC.org/100.
I'm Sean Carlson, and I hope you'll join me to celebrate WNYC Centennial and enjoy the stunning views at the Glass House in Midtown Manhattan. I'll be there along with Michael Hill, Brian Lair, and many of your other favorite public radio hosts. Join us for an evening of dancing, hot dogs, DJ Talib Kweli, and an open bar. Tuesday, November 19th at 9 p.m. Tickets at WNYC.org/party.
What happens to non-striking West Coast ports with eastern ports essentially shut down?
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Amazon Business, focused on offering smart business buying solutions, leaving time to focus on growth. More at amazonbusiness.com. And by Betterment, an automated investing platform that helps make it easy to invest. Learn more at betterment.com. Investing involves risk.
I'm David Brancaccio in New York. We're on day 3 of the dock workers' strike. From New England to the Texas Gulf Coast, the cranes are idle as a consortium of international shippers and the Longshoremen's Union are at an impasse on wages and machines taking over jobs. Cargo is immobilized, and the Biden administration is pressuring shippers to raise their contract offer. West Coast cargo handlers have a different union, and some cargo is headed in that direction. Here's Marketplace's Kaylee Wells.
It's not like a switch flipped when the strike started.
That increase has been coming at us for some time prior to the actual strike.
Leo Sundit is the secretary-treasurer of the International Longshore and Warehouse Union Local, representing workers in Portland. He says shipping companies have been diverting cargo just in case of a strike. That started a couple months ago.
They bring the cargo on the West Coast and then they rail it to the East Coast.
The increase hasn't been that bad in Oakland either, says spokesperson Marilyn Sandifer, because the demand spike isn't much bigger than the normal holiday spike, so the port's reaction to it is the same.
When there's more ships coming in and more cargo coming in, then they have to increase the number of dock workers that are handling that cargo. It probably means more truckers coming in to pick up cargo, to drop off cargo. That's basically how it works.
Sandifer says the cargo increase started back in February this year, and strike concerns have likely been only part of the reason.
What might be happening is retailers, having experienced congestion during the pandemic, may have decided to just move their goods earlier this year. Certainly through the Oakland Seaport, we saw big increase in imports.
But down the coast in the ports of LA and Long Beach, the cargo increase is more significant. It's the largest port complex in the country. The Long Beach side handled 913,000 shipping containers last month, about 18% more than normal.
That's a record in our 113-year history.
Mario Cordero is the CEO of the Port of Long Beach.
It tells me that there's cargo coming from other gateways.
Now, there are a couple reasons why the strike-induced bump hasn't overwhelmed these ports. One, the timing isn't terrible.
From July to September, essentially we call that peak season.
meaning if the strike continues, diverted ships will continue to arrive right as the peak season is winding down. Even now, Cordero says Long Beach is operating at about 70% capacity. The other reason, for years, the port has been preparing for a future with a bigger population and more consumption when this record-breaking amount of cargo will just be normal.
So that's why we've invested considerable money in our infrastructure.
Cordero says he's hopeful the eastern ports and workers will reach an agreement before consumers start seeing shortages or delays. I'm Kaylee Wells for Marketplace.
It's here. S&P futures are down 0.3%. NASDAQ futures down 0.5%, with the Middle East remaining a flashpoint. Crude oil is up more than 2% this morning, but still below $72 a barrel, where it was just a month ago. There's a court case playing out in D.C. that has opened the door to placing bets, often big bets, on the outcome of elections. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission, a federal regulator, had blocked this kind of betting, saying it could hurt the integrity of the election system. But a company called Kalshi X sued, and now a federal appeals court has ruled in a way that bets on, say, Trump versus Harris could now be taken.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Clear Channel Outdoor. Clear Channel's nationwide network of billboards and data-driven solutions help businesses big and small build brand awareness and influence consumer behavior. Learn more at billboardsforbusiness.com. And by JTV Jewelry Television, offering more than 40,000 jewelry designs, including gemstone rings, bracelets, and earrings in silver and gold. JTV can be found on your TV or at jtv.com.
Starting this week, there are new, stricter rules governing who can get food stamps. Some applicants will have to prove they're working, looking for work, or enrolled in job training to get benefits from what's called SNAP. Also, older workers up to age 54 now will have to meet the working, looking, or training criteria if they have no dependents or disability. Marketplace's Savannah Marr has more.
Since 1996, SNAP has required what it considers able-bodied adults to fill out regular paperwork to prove their employment status. Last year, GOP lawmakers saw an opportunity to raise the age cutoff to 54. Angela Rashidi is a senior fellow with the American Enterprise Institute.
There was just kind of a revisiting of whether that was the appropriate definition as, the economy has changed, as population has changed.
Rashidi says adults without dependents or disabilities make up a growing share of the SNAP user population. The average benefit comes out to about $212 a month per person. And she says work reporting requirements ensure that help doesn't disincentivize work for those who are capable. But there's no strong evidence they actually improve employment outcomes, says Sean Fremstead with the Center for Economic and Policy Research.
What you do see, though, is that it's pushing people off the program.
Fremstead says the paperwork is confusing and cumbersome, enough to discourage some participants who actually are working.
So they're not getting food stamps that they still really need.
And strict deadlines can lead SNAP users to accept the first available job, not the most stable or best paying. Heather Hahn with the Urban Institute researched their impact on beneficiaries in Arkansas.
One of the SNAP participants who we talked with said, right now I'll take any job.
Including unstable temp work, just to hold on to their food assistance. Park Wilde, a food expert at Tufts, says associating SNAP with employment goals is helpful in budget talks, which come up every 5 years or so during Farm Bill negotiations.
I think it's politically beneficial to this large anti-hunger program that in recent decades it's been more strongly connected with the labor market.
Wilde says expanded work reporting requirements could help protect the program from painful cuts whenever Congress gets around to negotiating a new farm bill. I'm Savannah Marr for Marketplace.
And for those averse to any kind of advanced planning for Halloween, Uber has announced a deal so you can get costumes or other Halloween stuff delivered at short notice. It's a deal with the Spirit Halloween chain that does those witchy, ghouly, princessy pop-up stores in more than 15,000 locations. I want to dress up as the Federal Reserve. I wonder if they can deliver that. In New York, I'm David Brancaccio. You're listening to the Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.